My wife said, "My therapist says asking me where I slept last night violates my boundaries. Stop being toxic." Her therapist was her male best friend. I replied, "Understood." Then I changed the locks. When she tried to come home, I spoke through the door. "My boundary is I don't let strangers in my house." Her hysterical call to her therapist. I, 41M, have been married to Sarah, 36F, for 6 years. Sarah is a yoga instructor and wellness coach. For the first 4 years, things were great. But in the last year, Sarah started seeing a new therapist, Dr. Jason. Dr. Jason isn't just a therapist, he's her best friend from college, who recently got his counseling license online. I always thought their dynamic was weird. Too much texting, too many inside jokes, too many late-night calls about existential dread. But Sarah insisted he was just a friend who understood her soul. Now he was her licensed guru. Suddenly, everything in our marriage became a trauma response. Asking her to do the dishes, you're invalidating my exhaustion. Asking her to stick to a budget, financial abuse and scarcity mindset. Asking her why she came home at 3 a.m., controlling behavior. Last weekend was the breaking point. Sarah went out on Friday night for drinks with the girls. She didn't come home. She didn't call, she didn't text. I stayed up until 4 a.m. worried sick. I called her friends, no answer. She walked through the door at 11 a.m. on Saturday, wearing the same clothes, smelling like expensive cologne and tequila. I was sitting at the kitchen table drinking my 4th coffee. "Where were you?" I asked. I was terrified. She rolled her eyes. She actually rolled her eyes. "God, Mike, you are so suffocating. I crashed at Jessica's. We got too drunk to drive. Stop being so insecure." "Jessica lives 3 blocks away," I said. "You could have walked, or texted, or Ubered. Why didn't you call?" She sighed, putting on her Zen teacher voice. "I talked to Jason this morning. He says that your need to track my every move is a trauma response you need to heal. Asking me where I slept violates my boundaries. It's autonomous time. Stop being toxic." Violates my boundaries. Toxic. Jason, she cheated. I knew it. She knew it. And she was using her therapist best friend to gaslight me into thinking I was the problem for caring. I looked at her. I looked at the hickey she had poorly concealed with concealer on her neck. Something inside me didn't just break, it calcified. I didn't yell. I didn't scream. I work as a structural engineer. When a building has a foundational crack, you don't paint over it. You condemn it. "Understood," I said calmly. "I respect your boundaries." She smirked, victorious. "Good. I'm gonna take a shower and then go to the studio. I need to cleanse my aura." "Go ahead," I said. She left for the studio an hour later. The moment her car turned the corner, I got to work. Phase 1, the lockout. I didn't pack a bag. I didn't leave. This is my house. I bought it before we met. Her name is not on the deed. We have a prenup, thank God. I called a locksmith, an emergency locksmith. "I need all exterior locks rekeyed. Now. I'll pay double for speed." The locksmith arrived in 20 minutes. While he worked, I packed her bags. I didn't throw them on the lawn, that's messy. I packed them neatly. Clothes, shoes, toiletries, her crystals, her sage bundles, her yoga mats. I stacked them in the garage. Then I reprogrammed the garage door opener code. Then I locked the door from the garage to the house with a new deadbolt. I printed out a single sheet of paper. It was a screenshot of the Find My Friend's location data from last night. She hadn't turned it off. She wasn't at Jessica's. She was at the Hotel W, downtown. I taped it to the garage door. Then I sat in the living room and waited. Phase 2, the boundary enforcement. She came home at 5 p.m. She tried the front door. Locked. She tried her key. Didn't turn. She rang the doorbell. I watched her on the Ring camera. She looked annoyed, then confused, then panicked. She walked around to the garage. She punched in the code. Access denied. She punched it in again. Access denied. She called me. I let it go to voicemail. She called again. I answered on the 3rd ring. "Mike, the door is stuck, and the garage code isn't working. Let me in." I walked to the front door. I didn't open it. I spoke through the heavy oak. "I can't do that, Sarah." "What? Why?" "Open the door." "Jason says that letting people into my safe space who disrespect me is a violation of my boundaries," I said, my voice smooth and calm. "I am prioritizing my peace. I am engaging in self-care." "What the hell are you talking about? I live here." "Not anymore," I said. "You said asking where you slept was toxic. So I decided to remove the toxicity from my life. I don't know where you slept last night, and frankly, I don't care. But I know you didn't sleep here, and you won't be sleeping here tonight either. You can't kick me out. That's illegal. Actually, you're a guest. You don't pay rent. You aren't on the deed. And since you abandoned the marital home last night for a hotel room, check the garage door for the receipt. I have revoked your guest privileges. My boundary is that I don't let strangers in my house, and since you won't tell me who you were with, you are a stranger. I'm calling the police. Go ahead. Tell them you cheated on your husband and he changed the locks. I'm sure they'll rush right over. She started screaming. She kicked the door. I'm calling Jason. He will tell you how insane you are being. Please do, I said. Put him on speaker. I'd love to hear his professional opinion. Phase 3, the therapist call. She actually did it. She dialed her therapist on a Saturday evening. To my surprise, Jason answered immediately. Sarah? Babe? Is everything okay? Babe, interesting professional terminology. He locked me out, Sarah shrieked. He changed the locks. He's abusing me. He's weaponizing my safety. I spoke loudly through the door. Hello, Jason. This is Mike, the toxic husband. Mike, Jason's voice was condescendingly smooth. Locking your wife out is a very aggressive act. It signals a deep need for control. You are creating an unsafe environment. We need to de-escalate. Actually, Jason, I said, I'm establishing a boundary. You told Sarah that asking about her whereabouts is toxic. I accepted that. But I have a boundary too. I don't share my home with adulterers. Sarah spent the night at the W Hotel. I have the GPS data. Since she values autonomy so much, I am giving her 100% autonomy. She is free to go wherever she wants, just not here. Silence on the line. Sarah, Jason said, his voice dropping the therapist act. Did he see the location? I forgot to turn it off. Sarah sobbed. Dr. Jason, I interrupted. You charged our joint account $250 a session to teach my wife how to gaslight me while you two played house. I consider that a poor investment. I'm cutting off the funding. Sarah is now responsible for her own therapy bills and her own housing. Maybe she can crash at your place? Since you're such good friends. Mike, you're misunderstanding the therapeutic dynamic. Jason tried to pivot. We should schedule a session. No thanks, I said. I'm processing it just fine. My process involves a divorce lawyer and a cold beer. Goodbye. I walked away from the door. Sarah was still screaming at Jason on the phone. You said he wouldn't check. You said he was too stupid. Update 1, Sarah didn't leave. She tried to break in through the back window. I had already installed security bars on the ground floor windows last year. I'm an engineer, remember? Security is key. She threw a patio chair at the sliding glass door. It bounced off. Impact-resistant glass. She sat on the lawn and cried. She called her mom. She called her friends. Her mom called me. Michael, let her in. She's sorry. She's not sorry she did it, Sharon. She's sorry she got caught. She can come live with you. I don't have the space. Sounds like a you problem. The police finally arrived. Sarah had called them, claiming illegal eviction. I met the officer at the door. I had my deed, my marriage license, and the GPS screenshot in a folder. Officer, I said. She cheated. I filed for divorce electronically an hour ago. She is not on the deed. She has no lease. Here are her bags in the garage. I opened the garage. Her bags were stacked neatly. I haven't denied her property. I've just denied her entry. The officer looked at the bags. He looked at Sarah, who was hysterical. Ma'am, he said, it's a civil matter, but since he's provided your belongings and you aren't on the title, you can't force entry. I suggest you go to a hotel. I can't afford a hotel, she wailed. He canceled my cards. I sure did, I said from the doorway. Financial autonomy, Sarah. It's very empowering. Ask Jason for a loan. The cop hid a smile. Ma'am, you need to leave the property. You're causing a disturbance. She left in an Uber. She went to Jessica's house, the friend she didn't sleep with. Update 2, Monday morning. I'm at work, checking load calcs on a high-rise project. My phone blows up. Sarah has posted a video on TikTok. Of course, she's crying. No tears, just noise. Caption, my narcissist husband locked me out because I set boundaries. He hates that I have a male therapist. Abuse survivor. She left out the cheating. She left out the hotel. She framed it as me being jealous of her professional relationship with Jason. Comments were flooding in. Leave him, queen. He's insecure. Men hate therapy. I didn't engage. I didn't comment. I called my lawyer. Send the cease and desist, I said, and include the hotel receipt in the exhibit list. Then I did something petty. I posted a single photo on my own Instagram, which I rarely use. It was a picture of the Find My Friends map showing her at the W Hotel at 3 a.m. Caption: when your wife says asking where she slept violates her boundaries, but her GPS says she slept at the W Hotel. Also, her therapist Jason calls her babe on the phone. Boundaries single. I tagged her. I tagged Jessica. I tagged her yoga studio. The tide turned instantly. The comments on her video shifted from "Yas Queen" to "Wait, you cheated with the therapist?" and "The W Hotel? Really?" She deleted the video in an hour. She deleted her account by noon. Update 3. 2 weeks later. I'm living my best life. The house is quiet. I bought a new espresso machine. Sarah has been served. She's contesting the prenup, claiming she signed it under emotional duress. My lawyer is laughing. Emotional duress? She brought her own lawyer to the signing. She showed up at my office. She couldn't get past security, so she waited in the lobby. I walked out at 5 p.m. She looked diminished. No yoga glow. She looked tired. "Mike," she said, standing up. "Can we talk? Just 5 minutes." "I'm billing my time at $200 an hour," I said. "Can you afford 5 minutes?" "Stop it," she pleaded. "I miss you. I miss us." Jason was wrong. He put ideas in my head. I was vulnerable. "You're blaming the therapist for your affair?" I asked. That's a new level of deflection. "Did Jason prescribe sleeping with him at the W Hotel?" She flinched. "It wasn't like that. We just connected. He listened to me." "I listened to you for 6 years," I said. "I paid your student loans. I built you a yoga studio in the basement. I supported you when you wanted to find your purpose. And you thanked me by calling me toxic for worrying about your safety. I can change. I'll stop seeing Jason." I blocked him. "I don't need you to stop seeing him," I said. "You two deserve each other. I need a wife who doesn't cheat. And since that position is vacant, I'm going to enjoy being single." "Where am I supposed to go?" she cried. "Jessica is kicking me out. My mom won't take me." "Have you tried Jason's place?" I asked. "I hear his couch is very therapeutic." I walked to my truck. I didn't look back. Update 4. This is the cherry on top. I wasn't the only one suspicious of Dr. Jason. I did some digging. I found his license number. I filed a formal complaint with the state licensing board for dual relationships and sexual misconduct with the client. I attached the recording of the phone call where he called her babe and tried to gaslight me. I also attached the GPS logs showing them at the hotel together. Sarah had let slip on the phone that he said he wouldn't check, implying Jason was involved in the cover-up. Last I heard, Jason is under investigation. His license is suspended pending review. Sarah lost her guru lover/best friend. She also lost her job at the yoga studio because the owner didn't like the drama of the therapist affair blowing up their reputation. Final update. 6 months later, the divorce is final. The prenup held. Sarah got $10,000 as a relocation fee and her car. That's it. I kept the house. I kept my pension. I kept my dignity. Sarah is currently living in a studio apartment in the bad part of town. She's working as a receptionist at a car dealership. She texted me last week. "I saw you at the grocery store. You looked happy." I didn't reply. I blocked the number. I am happy. I met a woman named Claire. She's a nurse. On our second date, she texted me when she got home. "Home safe. Had a great time." I replied, "Glad you're safe. Sleep well." She didn't call me controlling. She sent a heart emoji. It's amazing how easy life is when you aren't walking on eggshells made of therapy speak. I inspected the foundation of my life, found the rot, and removed it. Now everything is standing tall.